You know, it's not very often when we're away working on Escape to the Country that I get the chance to sit down and enjoy a lovely cup of coffee and have the chance to read the paper. But when the paper in question is one of the oldest in the world, well, sometimes it's worth making the time. So what am I about to read and where am I going to read it? Well, join me in just a moment and I'll tell you. Today, love is in the air as we search for one young couple's happy ever after.
Yeah, I love that. It's really cute, isn't it?
Yeah, it's quite cosy actually. I like the exposed timber.
I thought you were going to say it was cute as well.
And we've got more than one reason to celebrate. There you are, look. Complete with brand new bottle of champagne just to tempt you. Well, today we are in South Worcestershire, home of Barrow's Worcester Journal, one of the oldest newspapers still in print anywhere in the world. Now, the paper started out life back in 1690, then it was called the Worcester Postman, but in 1748 one Harvey Barrow bought it and it's been Barrow's Worcester Journal ever since. They've kept a record of every single edition they've ever printed. This beautiful bound volume contains everything from 1815. And if you know your history, well, you may recall that it was in 1815, of course, that Wellington famously beat Napoleon at the Battle of Waterloo. And here is the entry, the glorious defeat of Bonaparte. Now, of course, the paper's archives aren't just a fascinating insight into the highs and lows of British history. They're also a great way of understanding just what makes Worcestershire so fascinating, both past and present. If you want to get a real flavour for what this county has to offer, then a trawl through these is a really good place to start. In England's heartland, sitting in the West Midlands, is the county of Worcestershire. Carpeted in lush farmland, including 1,000 acres of vivid fields of flowers grown for confetti, the region has the magnificent Malvern Hills running through it and the neighbouring counties of Herefordshire and Gloucestershire. Described as a mountain range in miniature, the 8 Mile Ridge features some of the oldest rocks in Britain. In its foothills is the spa town of Great Malvern, a conservation area recognising the splendid architecture and history of the area. Another architectural delight is the county town of Worcester, which proudly boasts a resplendent cathedral. Towering majestically over the River Severn, it dates back to 1084, and the beautiful building which transcends many centuries of styles once graced the reverse of the £20 note. A far more contemporary statement in the town is the golden honeycomb-clad library, known as the Hive, which was opened by Her Majesty the Queen in 2012 and holds the archives of Barrow's Worcester Journal. So with its historic towns, along with lovely villages teeming with thatched cottages or whitewashed beamed homes, and superb scenic landscapes, Worcestershire is a perfect choice for any country escape. Now, when it comes to the cost of property, the average price of a detached home here in Worcestershire is currently just £11,000 below the national figure. So it's not a place where they're exactly giving it away, but you may take heart from the fact that property here is still some £37,000 cheaper on average than it is in neighbouring Gloucestershire, just across the southern border. Now, this is information that may well be familiar to today's buyers, because guess what? They currently live in Worcestershire, but what they don't have is a slice of rural life to go with it. And that, of course, is where we come in. It was love at first sight 2.5 years ago when theatre school owner Joe and software engineer Mike from the Worcestershire town of Redditch met on a blind date. And life's been a whirlwind ever since.
We just hit it off straight away. You know, we spent the whole night talking and...
I actually called one of my friends on the way home and I said, he's the man I'm going to marry. And I was right. Last weekend, we got engaged.
Yeah, so I whisked her off on a trip to Rome, proposed at the Villa Borghese Gardens, and she said yes, which is fantastic.
Home is Joe's 3-storey townhouse, but they've now decided it's time to leave the urban area and make their first joint property purchase in the countryside of South Worcestershire.
This part of Redditch where we live is quite industrial, isn't it? And it's very busy. This estate particularly, it's just full of cars and there's so many people around. There's no privacy really. We're very ready to settle down now and We just want to find a beautiful family home, you know, where we can have children, and I'm desperate to get a dog. We both want a dog, don't we? I want to be able to walk my dog and just be somewhere lovely and come home from the craziness of our lives and just be able to kind of look out the window and think, oh yeah, just somewhere peaceful.
And with Mike's commute to work in Gloucester taking up to an hour and a half each way, they're hoping to move somewhere that gives them more quality time at home.
I leave the house at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning and get back very late as well. And you've got a manic life, so it'd be nice if we could spend more time together, really. And even if it's half an hour closer to work, that's still an hour you get back every day, which, you know, is quite important to us.
And they won't have a problem filling their extended leisure time.
We're both very kind of fitness people. We love to go to the gym and we love to train and keep fit. So I think probably spend more time like running where we are instead of running out in the Redditch estates.
While Mike continues to work in Gloucester, Jo's hoping to bring her work to a new country location.
My company puts on projects for children, so we do singing, dance and acting, so it's my whole life. So wherever we move to, it would be great if we have the local children kind of be involved, so we became more part of the community as well.
So now that Jo has said yes, and with plans to rent out their current home, they're looking forward to exciting times ahead in a new country pad.
We're that quite easy to country life, so I think
we're already there mentally. I think because we spend so much time in the country because we're going out to those places, but we obviously just are coming back here at the moment. So I don't even think there is an adaptation period.
No.
We're just there. We're ready.
Jo and Mike have asked us to concentrate our search towards the south of Worcestershire, so Mike is within half an hour's drive of his work in Gloucester. And before we begin our house hunt, I'm meeting the happy couple to make sure I'm up to speed on their property requirements.
Hello, Jo.
Hello.
Hi, nice to see you.
Nice
Hello,
to meet you.
Mike.
How you doing?
Good to see you. Now, at this point, it's traditional for me to welcome you to the county of your choice, but you already live in Worcestershire, don't you?
That's right, yeah. We haven't
Not
travelled
far
far.
But we are looking for a very different kind of lifestyle in rural Worcestershire.
Yes.
That's the idea, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
So a move and a marriage are both on the horizon, and your first home together.
Yeah, very exciting.
Yeah.
Hoping to start a family in the next couple of years as well. So
You've got your work cut out, mate, haven't you?
Yeah.
And in terms of the property that you are thinking about, paint a picture for me, Mike, as to what we're after.
Well, I think we're looking for something with a bit of character, at the same time not overlooked.
an open fireplace would be lovely, a pretty view, somewhere we could maybe get a dog and walk the dog.
Yeah.
We just want to kind of be somewhere a little bit more beautiful and where we can enjoy life a little bit more.
So give us an idea of location.
I think we're quite open really, aren't we? We like the fact that some places can be quite rural and, you know, pretty, but then it's nice to be near a community and be able to maybe whiz back into a bit of a busier place when we want to shop and
I mean, somewhere with a bit of social scene as well.
Let's get down to the specifics. For example, how many bedrooms do you think you need?
2 to 3 would be a great start.
I think 3 would be ideal, but if we found somewhere that had 2 bedrooms with the potential to extend and you know, get 3 bedrooms out of it, then I think that'd be okay as well.
Yeah.
So give us an idea how much you're going to spend on this then.
Maximum 300.
So £300,000, a marriage to prepare for, a big move to be had. We're open to options, and ideally in Worcestershire, but within half an hour of Gloucestershire, so we may in fact hop over the border a bit.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
That's what I'm thinking, to make that work for you.
Okay.
I think we should go house hunting.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
For their budget of £300,000, Jo and Mike are looking for a characterful home with room to accommodate a growing family. They want 2 to 3 bedrooms, and location-wise, they'd like to be in a beautiful setting within an active community and not too far from Mike's work in Gloucester. We found a diverse trio of properties to tempt Jo and Mike, but they'll only find out each one's cost after they've completed the tour. And I'm hoping our final visit to the Mystery House is spot on for our young couple. It's full of history, but bang up to date. We're kicking off our property search in the village of Ryle in the south of Worcestershire. It's just a few minutes walk away from the delightful country town of Upton-upon-Severn.
Well guys, before we get to our first property, because I know you're dying to see what we've got on offer for you, I thought we'd immerse ourselves a little more in the area. This is Upton-upon-Severn. It's a gorgeous little town, actually. It's got loads going for it. And of course it has the marina, which is lovely. So if you fancy a bit of water sports in your new life, this is where you would come to explore the river and all that it can offer you. I think wherever you end up living, it's really important to have somewhere that's really close by, that's got a really vibrant community about it. So this is a scene setter, if you will.
Okay.
But our first property is in a tiny little village, about 5 minutes that way.
Okay.
The varied selection of independent shops in Upton are topped with historic 17th century architecture, and there are pubs and eateries galore. There's also the Grand White Lion Hotel, which featured in author Henry Fielding's 18th century novel, The History of Tom Jones. Less than a mile away in Ryle is this whitewashed detached cottage.
So guys, as promised, there it is. House number 1.
Wow.
Very cool. Yeah?
Very pretty.
The real selling point for this one is its proximity to Upton-upon-Severn.
Yeah.
But also for you, Mike, Gloucester, 35 minutes into the heart of Gloucester. So there's a lot on your doorstep, and that's what I like about this one. It's been added to over the years and extended, particularly at the back. I like it because I think it gives you the opportunity to really give it some personality.
Yeah, I really like it. It's a really pretty country cottage. I like how close it is to Upton. And yeah, it's detached, so yeah, very happy so far.
Mike?
Good size, yeah, which is exactly what we're looking for, somewhere where we can grow, so yeah.
Come on, let's have a look.
Okay.
The oldest part of this cottage dates back to the late 19th century, but the property benefits from extra space that the modern extensions have created. Moving inside, a small hallway leads us into a charming reception room.
Come on through, grab the door, Mike. From this corner, you get the idea, you've also got this little dining space through there, off of your main living room.
Yeah, I love that. It's really cute, isn't it?
Yeah, it's quite cosy actually. I like the exposed timber.
I thought you were going to say it was cute as well.
I mean, you could just remove that wall, to be perfectly honest, and open the whole thing up.
More open plan.
I think straight away I'd just want to lay a lovely wooden floor.
Ah, yeah.
I think that would make it a little bit classy and cottagey.
Keep your thinking caps on.
Okay.
Let's see what you make of the kitchen.
Nice size.
It's a pretty good space, isn't it?
It's handy because it's square.
Yeah.
But we talked about knocking a wall through in the living room. How about doing something similar with this wall, because it leads on into this conservatory. And potentially creating a really nice kitchen diner.
Yeah, that would be big. Which would mean you could also use the dining room and the lounge as a study area then.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, we want something we can, you know, get our teeth into as well, because that's what's exciting, is what we're going to do with it, you know, how we're going to make it ours, and you could definitely do that here.
Yeah, there's plenty of options.
Let's go upstairs and see what you think of that.
The stairway takes us upstairs to a long, narrow landing, off which there are 3 bedrooms.
So the smallest of the bedrooms is in there.
Okay.
Probably take a small double, to be honest. That's your family bathroom, main bathroom. And then this one would be yours because it's the biggest of the lot. And it also benefits from the addition of a dormer, which is pushed out to create this square of room. The old roofline is just in the wall there.
Oh, yeah.
And the other bedrooms reflect that. What do you think about the upstairs space then, Mike?
I think there's a reasonable amount of space. Probably like a little bit more.
Yeah. It's reasonable, isn't it? It's a reasonable sized master.
And at the end of the day, you know, most of your time is going to be down there.
Yeah, which is, of course, is the most important areas, which the downstairs areas are really good.
So let's have a think about the price then. Let's go to the garden.
Okay.
Next door to the master is the smaller 3rd bedroom, and I have to say, I think it's got nursery written all over it. As we head downstairs and outside, there's even more to see. A long driveway runs down the side of the property to a garage, and there's also a raised courtyard, as well as an attractive enclosed lawn.
This is a perfect size for us. It's not too much to maintain.
You can cope with this lawn,
I
can't
can go
you?
with this, yeah.
Not too much to mow, I think is the phrase you were searching for. Yeah. So let's think about the price. I know we've talked about making a few changes. That's obviously going to cost, but let's just focus on a realistic asking price for property number 1, Jo.
I think this is over our budget because it's detached, it's got a lovely garden and it's 3 bedrooms. So I'm going to guess 325.
325, yeah, Mike?
So I'm going to be a little bit more optimistic and perhaps cheeky, and I'm going to go for 295.
I do like a bit of optimism. This was actually valued over £300,000, but the current owners are keen to move on, which is why they have priced it at 950. You're both absolutely, in the zone. So I'm quite happy that you've got a realistic grip on the property market here. Right then, off you go. Go and have another wander around.
Okay.
And I will find you later once you've redesigned it.
Yeah.
Off you go.
Right,
Thanks.
thank you.
Excellent. Well, there we are. Our house tours are now well underway, but we have, of course, 2 more to come, including our mystery house.
This whitewashed detached cottage is just a whisker under budget and offers Joe and Mike the country home they're after, with 3 bedrooms and a manageable garden. Amenities are a short walk away in the well-equipped local town, and Mike would have an easy commute into work.
So this is the second biggest.
It's a big single, a small double.
Yeah, small double, I think.
Yeah.
So possibly nursery or spare room?
Yeah, I think so. This house has been a good family home, but it definitely requires some modernisation from our point of view, which we're more than happy to do.
I really like it. I think it's cool. I think it's big. The downstairs area is specifically my favourite area, just because of the potential. The upstairs, it's reasonable size, but I personally could live with that because of the location is fantastic. Yeah, it's a really lovely house.
After you, Mike.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There we are, Joe. Excellent. Well, I think it all went fairly well, didn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who's hungry?
Very hungry.
You right?
Come this way.
Already residents of North East Worcestershire, Joe and Mike are looking forward to heading further south in the county, where a more tranquil country life awaits. The region's southeasterly tip spills into the Cotswolds and joins 5 other counties to make up this rather special area with stunning landscapes and beautiful villages showcasing honey-coloured Cotswold stone. Often called the jewel of the Cotswolds is Broadway, the most visited village in the region. And just a stone's throw away in the surrounding countryside is a shooting ground where Joe and Mike can try their hands at immersing themselves in a real rural sport. They're meeting Matt Woodruff, who's a qualified clay pigeon shooting instructor.
So can you explain to us exactly what clay pigeon shooting is?
Certainly can. It's shooting a clay target called a clay pigeon with a shotgun. It's a really fun, all-inclusive sport to do.
Clay pigeon shooting is one of the fastest growing rural sports in the UK. Historically seen as an activity for men and the upper classes, it's now becoming much more popular across the board. All togged up in safety gear, first up is a lesson in how to stand.
Back leg nice and straight, little bend in the front knee, and you want to feel about 60% of your weight leaning forward over the ball of your front foot.
Ear defenders on, and a final tutorial, how to hold the gun.
So if you're ready, I'm going to place it into your shoulder.
Okay.
And I'm going to release it so you can feel the weight. How does that feel?
Feels good.
It's good.
Okay, fantastic.
Until 1921, live pigeon competitions were held before they were made illegal in the UK and clay targets were introduced. They come in different sizes and simulate the flight of game birds. Today, Joe and Mike will be aiming at an 11cm disc.
Start with the shotgun, in line with the trap, above the hills, I'm going to lock onto that clay, move with it.
Yep.
When it pauses, you're going to squeeze the trigger for me.
Okay.
Okay.
Pull.
Here it comes. Follow him up. Wait till he pauses. Perfect.
The target is fired out of a trap, and if the shooter is successful, it's said that they've had a hit.
Pull.
Here it comes. Follow him up. Wait. Good shot. Really well done.
Yay.
Fantastic.
With around 450 registered shooting grounds across the country and a clay pigeon shooting association with around 25,000 members at all levels,
Pull.
there's an opportunity for everyone to have a go at this exhilarating country pursuit.
Yay!
Brilliant shot. Really well done. You've What did you think? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Loved it.
Brilliant. Would it something you'd do again?
Yeah, I think we would definitely do it, wouldn't we?
Yeah,
It'd be
absolutely.
great fun.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, I hope to see you both again, and happy house hunting.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Let's just hope that one of our 3 houses hits the target. It's the second day of our journey around Worcestershire in our quest to find Joe and Mike from Redditch their first home together further south in the county. They've got £300,000 to spend on their first joint property, and after recently becoming engaged, love is all around. We've still got 2 homes to see, including an untouched mystery house.
Ah, very nice.
The smell in here may give it away.
It's brand new.
It's brand new.
And I'll be trying my rather wobbly hand at a very skilled and beautiful art form.
See, look, when my hand is shaking. There we are. Hey, it's all right, isn't it? Well, with 2 more properties to come, our final day of house hunting here with Mike and Joe is all set to be an extremely busy one. We will, of course, eventually reveal our mystery house, which I think is as slick and as crisp as they are. But first, a cosy cottage packed full of country charm. The only thing is, it's not exactly in Worcestershire.
For our next stop, we're crossing the county border into Gloucestershire and travelling to the village of South Cerney. It's a 40-minute drive from Mike's work in Gloucester, has a river running through it, and is home to a post office and 3 pubs. Houses here display the warm hues of Cotswold stone, with the Grade 1 listed Church of All Hallows a particularly attractive example. In the heart of the village is our second offering. Access down a lane and through a gate leading to its garden, where it can be appreciated in all its glory.
Grab the door, Mike. Hopefully now it is becoming obvious as to why I walked you down a seemingly random lane and took you through a random door to get you into this lovely little courtyard to look at that.
Very cool.
Oh, it's pretty, isn't it?
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Sweet.
It is sweet. It's a slice of the Cotswolds.
I love the fact that it's Cotswold stone as well.
That is what this area is famous for, even down to, the slates on the roof. I mean,
And the famous green door.
you've got to have one of those. You've got to have one of those. So, happy?
Yes.
And behind that door awaits the country cottage charm Joe and Mike are hoping for.
There.
Cool.
It's sweet, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Just about fit in here as well.
You've got no problem.
I don't have a problem.
No. It's hard to give it an age. I'm guessing probably late 18th century, early 19th century, when it was probably a very small sort of one up, one down. It's been added to that way, and it's been added to that way to create the kitchen, as you can see. So it's very compact. It's the I was worried there'd be a yeah, go on, let's have it, come on.
So is this the dining area, hallway?
Dining hallway.
Yes. Well, at least you're honest.
Yeah, well, it is what it is.
Yeah.
It's quite cosy.
No, it's got a lovely feel to it.
Yeah,
It's a lovely cottage feel.
We haven't seen the rest of the house yet.
Yeah.
Well, it's sort of through here, really.
That's it.
Doesn't take very long to see this one. In you go.
Next door and down a couple of steps is the living room, which completes our tour of the ground floor.
Very cosy.
Very cosy, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's nice, isn't it?
I think it's just down to what we decide we would compromise on and what we won't. So, if we decide we want to be in an area and this was the area, that would be the compromise, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think that's, it'd be more about the area than the space, I guess.
That's why I'm prepared to take more of a gamble on what we're showing you, because we're not looking for your forever home.
No, it is the first home. So we have to remember that as well, I think.
Yeah.
The footprint of this floor is mirrored upstairs, where there's just as much cosy charm. There's a contemporary bathroom alongside 2 bedrooms, one perfect to welcome a new addition to the family, and there's a larger master next door.
There you go. It's quite cute, isn't it, actually?
It's lovely. It's really
Yeah, it's nice.
I think they've made quite a good use of space in here as well, with, having cupboards set back into the walls. And
Yes.
I think it's definitely on the smaller end of what I consider small to be. This is further away from where home is at the moment, so when we do have children, having the moms over to help out, maybe, it's going to be difficult to accommodate that here.
I think these are all very good considerations, but price might Might swing
it, yeah.
Oh, are you setting us up for this?
Maybe. Right, let's go out to the garden.
Outside, we're back where we started in the garden, which features both a patio and a bordered lawn.
It's a nice little garden, actually, you know.
It's a nice secluded container garden. This, I think it's gorgeous, actually. It's not particularly overlooked, even though we've got properties around us. It's quiet.
It's very mature as well.
Would think, yeah, a nice little sun trap, actually. So let's think about the price then, Mike.
Okay, I'm going to go 270.
270, yeah, Joe?
I could go either side of that for different reasons, but I'm going to go lower, and I'm going to say 235.
Oh, even Mike gasped there. 235 plays 270. Okay, Mike, your instincts were right. This is on the market for £265,000, but open to some very sensible offers.
Okay.
That would be handy with the wedding coming up.
Yeah.
It would be very handy. It would certainly make a big dent in the wedding bill, wouldn't it?
That's right, yeah.
Right then, have a quick look around, and I'll find you very shortly.
Lovely.
Off
Thank
you go.
Jules.
This diminutive cottage is a healthy £35,000 under budget, and although small, it's packed with character. The outside space is both pretty and private, and the desirable Cotswolds address is a plus that would also offer a reasonable commute for Mike.
It's tiny.
Yeah.
It could be a nursery, but, you know, growing up, I don't know if it's too small to become a bedroom, maybe. Absolutely lovely little cottage, lovely little house, perfect location in the middle of a village. It's just a shame that, unfortunately, I think it's just that little bit too small. I think I'd really struggle with us being a family here, and kind of maybe could squeeze a little baby in, but I think very quickly we would outgrow this.
I think this cottage has shown us the importance of how much space we need. It's reminded us that, you know, we perhaps do need a bit more space. Certainly 2 bedrooms, which are of a decent size.
You know, everybody loves Cotswold stone. It will sell a property time and time again, regardless of how big, small, or indeed expensive or cheap it is. Happy to have seen this?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Good. I'm delighted to have had the chance to show it to you. I think we've got a good mix so far, but it's not over yet.
No, mystery house.
Yes, come on.
In the heart of Worcestershire is its county town Worcester, home to the eponymous Royal Worcester porcelain. The company was founded in 1751 by entrepreneurs Dr. John Wall and apothecary William Davis, and this impressive red brick factory opened in 1840. It produced some of the finest porcelain in the country, some of it for royalty, and after 38 years was awarded a prestigious royal warrant. After more than 2.5 centuries in business, the factory closed its doors in 2008, and the brand was bought by another revered porcelain manufacturer. Just a few paces away from the old factory gates is a museum dedicated to the history of the company. Museum director Amanda Savage has worked here for 24 years.
So just to set the scene historically, it's the 1750s. The potteries are in full swing. There was great competition for goods in those days. What made Worcester stand out?
Well, Worcester had a secret recipe.
Ah.
And they were the first factory that actually were able to make teapots that would withstand the heat of boiling water. And if you could make your tea with boiling water, you had the best tea. And that was what everybody wanted in their fine houses.
You remember what this factory was like when it was in full swing. What was the atmosphere like?
Oh, it was an amazing place. Everybody knew everybody else. There were over 10 acres of factory buildings. The whole of Worcester and everybody who worked here had a tremendous sense of pride in their involvement.
The factory may be silent today, but the porcelain it produced and its journey through time is celebrated in the neighbouring museum. Opened in 1946, it holds over 10,000 precious pieces, some dating back to the brand's birth in 1751. And Amanda's trusting me to stand within inches of a selection of them, but I'm not allowed to touch.
This teapot here is a really good early example of one of the first teapots that could withstand boiling water. And it was made between 1754 and 1758.
And it's made of china with that secret ingredient. How closely guarded was the recipe?
Hugely guarded. The partners, when they signed the original partnership deed, had to agree to pay a fine of £4,000 if they told anybody else the secret.
Now, without a doubt, the most elaborate item on the table is that.
This is the Dudley teapot, and it was made in 1865. It's so fine, and all of this work, which we call jewelled work, is just so intricate and time-consuming. It takes huge skill and patience.
How you begin to produce something as beautiful as that, I just don't know. It's absolutely exquisite.
Well, luckily, I'm about to find out. Ken Russell is a master gilder and began his career on the factory floor in 1950, aged just 16. Today, he's keeping this beautiful art form of jewelling alive, and he demonstrates his skills here in the museum.
Hello, Ken.
Morning, Jules. How are you?
I'm very well, sir.
Good.
Look at that. I've just been marvelling at the Dudley teapot,
Well,
and here you
it
are
is
recreating all of that skill and talent.
loosely based on it. It's what we call jewelling.
And the jewelling is the application of these
Spots.
raised spots. And what actually are you applying? What is that?
Well, all ceramic colours are basically glass. With different oxides to make the different colours.
And the gold that's on there,
That's 2 coats of 24 karat gold.
24 karat gold.
That's 2 coats, yeah.
After each application of jewelling, the porcelain is fired in the kiln, and that happens up to 10 times.
Can I pick that one up?
Yes, sure, yeah.
I mean, how long would that have taken you to make, Ken?
About 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
That's
I
about,
noticed
that's about £1,000, yeah.
that's £1,000, so I'm going to be a bit
In
careful.
this day and age, 3 weeks' work for £1,000 isn't a great deal.
How many dots are on there?
Well, I had a guesstimation the other week, 5,000. Can't see it's been done anywhere else. This is unique.
I'd love to try my hand at it. I'm not
yeah,
suggesting I try it on your 24 karat gold plate, though.
I was going to suggest the same thing.
Great minds. Scoop it up.
Scoop a lump of colour and then look what you've got. That's all right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm not sure my hand is as steady as yours.
Yeah.
How's that?
So you come up straight.
Yeah.
Otherwise you can flop
You don't
it.
want to smudge it, do you? There is something very cathartic about it.
Do they say the same thing after 5,000?
You will know. I won't, because I don't think I'm going to manage 5,000. But I can certainly see how you thought it would be an interesting exercise to try and replicate that.
Well, nobody else
style.
has ever done it again. Now you've got to pop the one in the middle now.
Now that, presumably, you do by eye.
Yeah.
I can see, look. My hand is shaking. There we are. Hey!
That's not bad.
It's all right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just a few more thousand to do, mate.
Oh, yes.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
What a fabulous taste of Royal Worcester. But now it's back to the hunt as we put the finishing touches on our house search.
So, guys, you know what is coming next?
Yeah, mystery house.
What do you think it might be, Mike?
I'm going to go for a barn conversion.
Are you now? Okay. Yeah, Joe?
I'm thinking you might show us a real modern place. I'm hoping it's not on an estate.
Well, it's not on an estate. It has a lovely modern twist to it. And, well, your husband-to-be might not be so far off the mark.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Isn't it? Well, you
Can't
can
wait.
keep guessing because we've got a few miles to travel.
For our third and final property stop, we're staying in Gloucestershire and journeying to the village of Alveston. It's a 40-minute drive from Gloucester and just over 10 miles north of Bristol. 3 miles away is the handsome market town of Thornbury, where the streets are lined with a good selection of eateries and independent shops, offering both essential amenities and artisan products. Thornbury is graced with striking architecture. St Mary's Church dates back to the 12th century and is the town's oldest surviving building. Neighbouring Thornbury Castle, which began life in 1511, is now a Grade 1 listed building and a luxury hotel. Just a 10-minute drive away and we're in Alveston, where our mystery house is about to be unveiled.
Well, we did have a bit of a drive to get here. But I think it was worth it because not only have we found our mystery house right there we've also found some very welcome sunshine.
Oh, it's lovely here.
So there you go. That is what is on offer.
So this is the barn conversion.
This is the barn conversion. You were absolutely right, mate.
Well done.
It's been done absolutely beautifully. What do you think?
It looks perfect from the outside.
It's a really interesting proposition, this one. Why it's the mystery house? Well, that will become perfectly obvious once we get inside.
Okay.
But you don't need a paintbrush with this one.
Fab.
Yeah, come and have a look.
This gorgeous stone barn was a stable and a hayloft in its previous life and has only recently been converted. So if Joe and Mike decide this is the home for them, they'll be its first inhabitants. We're entering straight into the open plan living area.
Ah, very nice.
Yeah?
Wow. That's a nice finish.
With exposed timbers.
Yes.
Nice character.
And if you haven't already noticed, the smell in here may give it away.
It's brand new.
Exactly, brand spanking
This
new.
is very you, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Mike likes clean lines.
Come and have a look at this. I mean, just to spoil you. There you are, look. Never used. Complete with brand new bottle of champagne just to tempt you.
The kitchen's got a nice country feel, actually, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think we all love the finish down here. No surprise that continues upstairs. It's just lovely. Come and have a look. You can tell I'm excited about this one, don't you?
And there is plenty to be excited about because the luxurious feel and attention to detail certainly continues up on the first floor.
That's bedroom 2, we'll say. That's the very slick bathroom.
Nice.
Yeah, isn't hers sinks? And then this is currently set up as the master. I mean, they furnished it to sell it, so it's furnished in a fairly minimal sort of way.
Yeah.
You know, they've really thought about it. These conservation skylights are lovely, giving you some views out there towards the River Severn. Could you see yourselves in here? Because I can see you here.
Yeah,
I think
definitely,
so,
yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely that nice mix of new and old, I think.
And there's nothing to do.
I know, it's just a move-in job, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. Let's go and finish off outside. There's a bit of garden to show you, and then we'll talk about the dreaded question of price.
The back door leads to a real slice of rural life, where the outside space is surrounded by beautiful countryside views in every direction. There's also hard standing for 2 cars on a driveway created from the hayloft's original flooring.
The garden, this is yours, dedicated to you. They haven't done anything with this because they're not sure what the new owners are going to want, so that really is sort of up to you. So that's it, really. There is nothing more to say. What do you think?
Yeah, it's lovely. It's been so well done, hasn't it? And
Yeah, it really has. I like the way they've left this garden to your imagination, really, as well. It's kind of yours to do with.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think you can have some fun with that and make it absolutely what you want. So, guys, I'm afraid it is now time for our final price guess of the week. You've got £300,000 to spend. So, go on then, Joe.
It's so hard. This one's the hardest. I think I'm just going to pick a number and I'm going to say 280.
280, Mike?
I'm going to be really cheeky and say 250.
Oh, that is cheeky. I like your optimism. You are closer to it, madam. However, it will probably come as no surprise that this is on the market for 299,950. So it's 50 quid off of your budget of £300,000 because of its finish.
Yeah.
I mean, it is curious, of course, because it is relatively unfurnished. Go and have a wander around, play with the space, see how you might use it, and I'll come and find you later.
Okay.
Off you go.
Thank you.
This high-spec converted barn has crept in just under budget, and its character and finish combine to offer Joe and Mike a luxurious country retreat with far-reaching views and plenty of options for nearby walks. Our mystery house is ready to go, meaning there'd be time to spare for wedding planning, plus Mike would have a comfortable commute to work.
So this is bedroom 2.
Yeah. It's quite big, isn't it, really?
Yeah, it's a really good size, actually. It's a good double. For this property, you can't really fault it in terms of the way it's been decorated. It's got a great finish, and they've made the best of the space, I think.
I love the fact that whenever you look out of a window, it's green. It's just lovely. And it's so modern and such a high standard. It's really appealing because of that, and you know, we wouldn't have to do anything. It's just, it'll be a lovely place to live. We've just got to decide whether or not it's big enough for us, I think.
Yeah.
Look at your beaming faces, and so they should be. I think this is a really inspiring job. This is how to do it if you're going to convert any building, particularly one like this. But I'm afraid that's it. House tours are now over. You've got to go away and make sense of it.
It's a nice one to finish on.
It's a great one to finish on. Is it a house to start with for the future? Who knows? Come on. Well, we've given Mike and Joe some cracking options this week, so we're better to find out what their future holds than here in the sumptuous surroundings of Thornbury Castle. Now, I have to confess, I have a favourite. Maybe you do too. But are we right about what they're going to choose? Well, let's go and ask them. Hello, Joe.
Hello.
Hello, Mike.
Hello.
Well, we gave you three, I think, quite different but equally viable options. So what have you decided upon, Mike?
We kind of looked at all three of them, and I think we decided that the best choice for us would be the first one.
Ah, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
So come on then, explain yourself, Joe.
I think that the last house is just so beautifully done, and if we could input that style and renovate and create that in the first house, we would have a pretty amazing house. Because the first property's got such a great location. It's so close for Mike. It's not that far for me to get home. It is a bit tired, but it has got space there, and there's space to extend, and it's a bit of a project. So yeah, I think we're considering maybe putting an offer in on that one.
Really? Seriously?
Yes.
That response has absolutely thrown me. I was convinced you would go for the mystery house, hook, line and sinker, but I have to say, I do like your thinking. So it's up to the pond 7, here we come.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
Wow, you've astounded me. And that's a good thing, that's a good thing. And I do think you've put the right amount of thought into it. I'm delighted to think that you've made all the right decisions. Brilliant. So when might this offer be going in?
I think we're going to have a little bit of a further chat tonight on what our offer might be. And then hopefully maybe tomorrow morning we'll give them a call.
Brilliant, guys. Well, I'm going to celebrate with a cup of tea. And look, tuck into those.
And a macaroon.
And a macaroon. Cheers. Best of luck.
Cheers.
Well, bathed in sunshine, for me, the castle here at Thornbury is the perfect place to finish this week's house tours. And in some respects, its story has some relevance to our own. Back in 1535, Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn stayed here for 10 days while they toured the area. Now, of course, eventually, Anne infamously lost her head. But in some respects, I think that's exactly what has happened to Joe and Mike. But thankfully, they haven't lost theirs to a king, but to a home. So all in all, a much better ending. I'll see you next time.
Joe and Mike did put an offer in on our first property, but sadly for them, it wasn't accepted, so their house hunt continues. If you would like to escape to the country in Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales or England and need our help, you can apply online at bbc.co.uk/beonashow.
lũ dù dã rời muộn màu vẫn trọn vẹn tình thương yêu lời nói câu ôi trong đêm gọi mưa về. Có những ngày chân lạc bước mải mê, bình yên lắm khi cận kề bên mẹ, đói nũng nịu thì thầm tay thật khẽ, tượng ngực mềm ôi thật nhẹ mùi hương. Kẻ đông sang hoa rực rỡ phố phường, tàu cập bến bao vấn vương chờ đợi, nghe gió thổi biết lạnh kia kịp tới, dám hao gầy bỗng vùi vợi thêm đau. Mẹ yêu à, con mệt lắm mẹ ơi, mong biến độ cả bầu trời là mẹ, dẫu cuộc sống và lòng người nặng nhẹ, rộng vòng tay ôm chặt nhé bên đời. Cuộn dâng trào mà nhói dạ chơi vơi, bao lam lũ dù dã rời muộn màu vẫn trọn vẹn tình thương yêu lời nói câu ôi trong đêm gọi mưa về. Có những ngày chân lạc bước mải mê, bình yên lắm khi cận kề bên mẹ, đói nũng nịu thì thầm tay thật khẽ, tượng ngực mềm ôi thật nhẹ mùi hương. Kẻ đông sang hoa rực rỡ phố phường, tàu cập bến bao vấn vương chờ đợi, nghe gió thổi biết lạnh kia kịp tới,